Let's start with a quiz. What do the numbers 98, 106 and 121 have in common? The answer, they were all built here. The 98 was the Mosquito fighter, the 106 the Comet, and the 121 the Trident, all built in this huge hangar at British Aerospace Hatfield. But the 146 will be assembled here. And assembled is the right word because these days few modern aircraft are actually built in just one place. The assembly starts with the nose section and cockpit, which is made at Hatfield. The rest of the aircraft will be joined on the back.
The centre bit comes from Filton, and the rear from Manchester, and the wings from America.
It comes from absolutely everywhere, doesn't it?
Everywhere, even Saabs and Bruck in Yorkshire.
So it comes from Sweden, in fact, doesn't it?
Sweden, yes.
Why is that? Why can't you just make an aircraft in one place?
Well, the complexity and cost of building aircraft nowadays, the cost of the aircraft had to be spread out completely all over the world.
Does it make it more difficult to do it that way?
It makes it more difficult to start off with, but once you've sorted out all your problems in between the factories, then you get a much neater and better and faster built aircraft.
The wings are made in Nashville. They're really just sealed fuel tanks with as few complications as possible, and they're made in America for two main reasons. Firstly, financial. They cost roughly a fifth of the aircraft, and Avco agreed to underwrite a fifth of the risk to get the 146 contract. It also helps to get orders for the aircraft in the United States if parts of the plane are made there. Once completed, they initially head for Hatfield by road, 3 days halfway across America to New York. Meanwhile, the fuselage, which the wings join onto, has a shorter journey. Down the M4 from Bristol. British Aerospace decide to build wherever they have spare capacity. With the failure of Concorde, there were thousands of workers available at Filton. The 146 was the perfect interim solution, so the fuselage was farmed out to Bristol. All this travelling down British motorways, American freeways, might seem a waste of time, except of course to the billboard artists. But it isn't. In fact, it's the cheapest way to build a modern aircraft. The aviation industry doesn't see distance like we do. An aircraft as raw material is very light for its value. Transportation, though expensive, is only a minor part of the total bill, even the thousands of pounds it costs to hire a jumbo. This 747 could be carrying 400 passengers. Instead, on board will be two wings for the 146. They're slowly swallowed up in New York, at the Kennedy Air Freight Terminal. The plane belongs to Flying Tigers. You may not have heard of them, though they're one of the largest airlines in the world. They've got 14 jumbos, purpose-built for freight, and see themselves as lorry drivers in the sky. Once the 146 production line gets into gear, they'll be crossing the Atlantic with the wings 3 times every month. Gradually, all the pieces come together at Hatfield. The engines, originally designed for a helicopter, from the United States. The fin section from Bruff in Yorkshire, arrives in time for the tailplane from Saab in Sweden. Bit by bit, the jigsaw is clipped together. The actual joining doesn't take too long. Most of the time is devoted to threading the wiring through and meshing controls together.
You all right? Come in a bit, Jeff.
5 years of building all over the world climaxes in the 6 months it takes to make it a complete aircraft at Hatfield.